Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today we're going to be talking about hypothyroidism and the secret to gut health. I did a video very similar on this topic. I'm going to try to give you a different spin on how the gut and the thyroid are connected. So hypothyroid, that's low thyroid function. Typically you'll see in conventional medicine elevations in TSH. That's your brain hormone that talks to your thyroid. And then usually you'll see lower levels of T4, which is your inactive thyroid hormone, followed by T3, which is your more active. You'll start to see those drop over time. Most conventional doctors only look at TSH. They do not look at T4 or T3 downstream. That's super common. Now, the gut health component plays a major role for a couple of reasons. One, if you have low thyroid can actually cause slow gut motility. So a lot of times you can start to have constipation, slow gut motility, and that can make it easy to absorb a lot of toxins in your gut. And it can impact the ability to absorb nutrients too. So when we have low thyroid, that can impact gut motility. Now, on the other side of the fence, most thyroid issues, when you look deep, because most conventional doctors will not run thyroid antibodies. They will not run TPO, thyroid peroxidase, or thyroglobulin antibodies. They won't run it. So most thyroid issues have an autoimmune mechanism at the root that's impacting the thyroid, meaning your immune system is actually attacking the thyroid. And so over time, those tissues in that healthy thyroid tissue, they look like almost little berries that hold that thyroid hormone. They start to become infiltrated with scar tissue and fibrotic tissue, and they lose the ability to synthesize thyroid hormone. So it's very important that if you have a thyroid problem and you start to see your TSH go up first off, that can take years before a thyroid issue starts to happen. So you want to actually look at your functional thyroid numbers downstream. You want to look at T4 free and T4 total. And you want to look at T3 free and T3 total. At least the frees, but total can give you a good window. And see if those numbers are starting to drop into the bottom half of the reference range. For T4 free, 1 to 1.5 is ideal. T4 total, 6 to 10. T3 free, 3 to 4.4, 4.3. T3 total, 100 to 150. Right? These are good kind of ideas of where you should be. If you're going to start to go below that range, start to look out, because you'll notice it takes years for TSH to start going up when those T4 and T3 start to drop. And so if you're concerned, look at the primary hormones downstream that start to impact your TSH years later. That way you can catch things before they actually become a problem. And regarding your antibodies, vitally important, because what's the thyroid gut connection? These antibodies play a major role, but guess where most of your immune cells are? Most of your immune cells, 80%, are in your gut. And so if you're worried about an autoimmune thyroid issue, you have to look at the gut, whether it's with gluten, whether it's casein, whether it's soy and legumes, and the anti-nutrients that are in these foods. These foods can provoke and trigger an immune response that starts to attack that thyroid tissue. So we'll call it an autoimmune response. Your immune system is attacking self, autoimmune, versus immune attacking a virus or bacteria. It's attacking yourself. And so most of your immune cells in the gut. So if you get your gut healthy, you're going to have a better, smarter, more robust immune response. So the big foods are going to be gluten, dairy, soy, and then you can even see nuts and seeds and eggs and healthier foods that may have to be restricted or pulled out. Of course, any flours or grains or processed sugar or processed vegetable oils or trans fats, of course, that for sure. But there are some healthier foods that most nutritionists would say, hey, that's a good food, that's nutritionally dense, but it could be a problem from an inflammatory food allergenicity, immune provoking standpoint. And so got to look at the immune cells. So most people, they don't get enough fermented food, so they have lower levels of beneficial bacteria. These are the Lactobacillus bifidobacter species. They're lower because we're not getting exposed to it in our diet via fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented pickles, low sugar kombucha. We're not getting that. Or we're also maybe getting too much glyphosate in our pesticide-ridden foods, or too much antibiotics overprescribed. And that's negatively impacting our microbiome, knocking down the good, healthy bacteria, and then starting to skew and create dysbiosis, more bad stuff's coming back up as a result. And this bad bacteria, it can create lipopolysaccharides, it can disrupt motility, it can impact the absorption of nutrients. Also, beneficial bacteria synthesize nutrients like vitamin K2, folate, B vitamins. They also produce various acids, because acidophilus probiotics like Lactobacillus acidophilus literally translates to in Latin acid loving. And so it produces more acid, which makes it harder for bad bugs to grow. And then, of course, we'll get prebiotic fibers in there like butyrate that then start to make it harder for bad bugs to grow as well. And so it's very important. The gut connection with that thyroid, we have the antibodies, we have 80% of the immune cells there, we have a lot of the nutrients being absorbed there. The food can impact the immune system and cause this autoimmune attack to provoke and attack things and thus increase antibodies. And certain nutrients can be very powerful at modulating the immune system. Selenium, for instance, that iodination process where your body takes the tyrosine and binds 4 molecules of iodine, that's Chi4. And your body does that via the iodination process and the sodium iodine symporter system, but that will spit off hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide can be internally very inflammatory and start to cause that B cell infiltration from the immune cell to the tissue. And so having adequate selenium takes the hydrogen peroxide, it pulls off an oxygen molecule, making H2O to H2O instead, water. So it takes hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2, it subtracts 1 oxygen, now it's H2O, now it's water. So now it's a benign substance. So this is very important. Nutrients play a very important role. Selenium, magnesium, zinc, CoQ10 play a very important role. So does vitamin D, very important role. Glutathione, which is a tripeptide made from cysteine, glutamine, glycine, play a very important role in the immune system. You have to be able to absorb and assimilate these things. And if your gut is inflamed, that may make it harder. And also, if we have inadequate levels of beneficial bacteria, that could keep your immune system out of balance as well and further facilitate that autoimmune attack. So Dr. J here signing off. I hope you guys have a different perspective on kind of the thyroid, how it impacts the gut, but then how the gut also impacts the thyroid. It's a 2-lane highway relationship. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Again, links down below. If you want to reach out to my staff and team, we see patients worldwide. If you need functional medicine support to get to the root cause of whatever your health challenge is, thyroid, gut, immune, female hormone, we do it all. We look deep under the hood and use functional medicine, natural medicine principles to try to support and facilitate healing. Links down below if you want to reach out. Again, if you guys enjoy the video, let me know. Take care, guys. Have a good one.